Hi everybody, welcome to the very first video on my channel. Today I am going to be telling you my riding story just so you guys can get a little bit of background on me before I start this channel and all the videos. My riding journey started at the racetrack. I was 7 years old, not sure what I saw in it, maybe the cheering crowds or the super fancy racehorses. But I knew this is what I wanted to do. Right when I got home, I immediately started begging my parents for lessons. I lived kind of close to the city, and there wasn't very many riding facilities. But my parents made it happen. In the summer of 2014, I got my first riding lesson. I was given this pony named Scout. I rode him once a week, and I absolutely loved it. But the barn that I was at was closing down, and that's when the owners gave me the opportunity to buy Scout. After a lot of begging, my parents finally agreed to buy Scout. We immediately brought him home to a riding facility where you need to own a horse to be there. I would see him every single day and I absolutely loved it. There was a problem though. All of the older girls at my barn rode English, so I had my very first English lesson. I loved it. Luckily, we had a pony that could literally do anything we asked him to do. It was weird switching from a big Western saddle to a tiny English saddle, so my trainer had me do some exercises. And pretty soon we had gotten it down. I was turning 8 though and wanted to do more. We did start doing some jumping and a little bit of cross country, I guess. We also did some fun stuff like bareback beach rides. It was so fun, we would gallop around the beach together. I did know that I was outgrowing Scout pretty soon, and by the time I was 9, we had to sell him. It was devastating. I did not have another horse to ride, so I kind of just stopped. Pretty soon, though, we did move to Silverglade Village, which opened up a number of barns. My mom did some looking around the town, and she met this trainer. The trainer was just starting out and had a horse for me to ride. I jumped at the opportunity because I just wanted to ride again. That's when I met Galaxy. She was a gorgeous Connemara and she was 15 hands. My trainer wanted me to work with this pony and teach her to become a jumper. So we immediately started. She was very green though, and there would be good rides and bad rides. It was very frustrating, but I refused to give up. I was determined to make this pony something. I wasn't sure what though. I had a lot of falls. But I think the reason that kept me going was that she would always turn back around and wonder why I was on the ground, and then we'd get back on and try again. Trail riding was always one of my favorite things, and luckily I could do that. This combination that we did, bareback, was a big milestone, and I knew that we were progressing, which really helped. We went to our first show when I was about 11, and we did super good. We got our first place ribbon, and I was just over the moon. My parents were always very supportive and told me after this show that I should start thinking of buying my own horse. And that got me thinking about when it was going to be time to sell Galaxy, and I knew it was going to be soon. My parents told me that if I wanted my own horse, I would have to pay half of the upfront, so I started working at the stables. I love the company of horses, so working here was not that bad. And it was soon time to sell Galaxy. It was really sad to see her go, but I knew it was time for me to buy my own horse. That's when I bought Captain. My parents helped me buy him, and I was about 12 at the time. Captain was 11 years old, and he had been jumping most of his life. I was really excited to start showing because I had developed a passion with that. My first 3-foot fence was absolutely incredible. We thought just jumping a random 3-foot jump was all he could do, but he greatly exceeded expectations. Soon we started doing cross country. I don't know why, but I just thought it was peaceful as a kid. Captain was never much of a horse to refuse jumps, so I kind of just trusted him. He always loved it. I wasn't sure if it was his first time doing cross country when we did it, but he knew what he was doing. We also, of course, did some bareback rides and jumping. Jumping was all time his and my favorite thing. Also, jumped bareback a 3-foot fence, which was absolutely crazy. Soon, my trainer decided it was time to move me and her horses and all of her students somewhere else. We found this beautiful place right next to the village I was living in, which meant that I was riding every single day. We started to get back into jumpers, and he just flourished. We flew over those jumps. At about 15, we did our first show in the 3-foot division. I was so proud of him because we had originally bought him just to do the 2-3-2-6 shows, but we were able to get him all the way up to the 3-foot. We were also still into cross country, which is great, and we did a few shows out in the area. When I was about 16, I decided I was going to retire captain, and my trainer actually bought him just to put him into her lesson program, which was really good because I get to see him every day. And in comes Superman. When I bought him, he was about 9 years old, and now he's 10. He's a Belgian warm blood, and he's 16.2 hands tall. He's the first actual horse that I've ever owned. And I could not have been luckier to get such a perfect horse. He loves jumping to death just like me, and it's his favorite thing. I've also done some bareback stuff with him. Maybe I want to go to a bareback show. I don't know though. But that takes me to where I am now. I'm 17 years old and just graduated high school. And that's basically my whole riding journey. Bye, guys.